Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Aaron and I'm a third year medical student from the University of Adelaide. In today's video, I'll be discussing my favourite topic in the whole wide world, which is abstract reasoning. So the purpose of this section is to evaluate a person's ability to identify patterns and then apply that rule to other similar shapes and answer the question. In the 2022 UCAT in Australia, there's going to be 50 questions and you're going to be able to do it in 12 minutes, which is 14.4 seconds a question. Trust me, I've just googled this, that's true. And I probably had the same reaction as you. I'm like, how are you meant to do 50 questions in 12 minutes? So hopefully today's video and the tips that I share you guys will allow you to cut down the amount of time you spend on each question and get a better score than the other people who are doing the UCAT. So the questions I'm using today and the timestamps for certain parts of the video, as well as links to my other UCAT videos, verbal reasoning and situational judgment, can be found in the description below. And while you're down there, feel free to click the subscribe button and we'll get started. So before we go through some questions, I'll discuss the two most important tips that I learnt in 2019 when I did the UCAT. So tip number one, before even looking at the question, you want to find the pattern or rule for both sets of shapes first. And you can do this by looking at the simplest box in each set, attempting to find the rule for that little box and then applying it to all the other boxes in that set, just because the simplest box has the same rule as all the other boxes and there's less distractions, which will mean that you can find the pattern a bit quicker by choosing that box. So tip number two, when you analyze the simplest box, make sure you know what you're looking for. And by that I mean you should have in your head a set of patterns that are really common in the abstract reasoning. And the acronyms you can use to help you remember these patterns could be SCANS, could be CPR, or could be SCONS. So today I'll be using the SCANS acronym, and that stands for shape, color, arrangement, angle, number, and symmetry. So throughout the questions today I'll have it on the screen and you can use it as you follow along. So we'll start off with type 1 questions. These questions have two sets of shapes, set A and set B, and you'll need to find the pattern in each of these sets and then apply that rule to a series of test shapes, as either belongs to set A, belongs to set B, or belongs to neither. So we'll take a look at this type 1 question here. So we've got set A and set B, and we just have to find a pattern for each of the sets. So we'll go with this box here. This appears to be the most simple shape here. So we'll go through SCANS, so it's shape, color, and all those other things. I'll put them on the screen. So here we go. I think this one's more, it's a combination of shape and number, I reckon. So if you look at the crescent here, we've got one rounded line and we've got and another rounded line. So in total we have two rounded lines. So we'll see if that follows. So we've got two rounded lines here, so 1 and 2, but we've got 3 here, so that rule doesn't apply. Alright, I think I know what the rule is though. So as you can see, there's no straight lines in set A. Everything's rounded, and that applies to all these boxes. So that's probably a pretty good pattern for set A. And for set B, there's no round lines, there's only straight lines and edges. So that's probably the rule for this one as well. So if we look at this question, there's only rounded lines, so it probably belongs to set A. This pentagon, only straight lines, belongs to set B. This one has both straight and rounded, so I don't think it belongs to either set A or set B. Here we go. This probably belongs to, there's only rounded here, so I reckon it belongs to set A as well. They'll try to throw in some weird shapes to trick you. Alright, and now we've got straight lines here and rounded lines here. So we'll go with neither. So we'll go back, we don't want to look at any other questions. So basically, as you can see, I spent a bit of time trying to figure out what the pattern was, and it was a pretty easy pattern in this case. But as you can see, once you figure it out, you can apply the pattern to all the following questions, and it only takes like 2 or 3 seconds to do. So for type 2 questions, there's a bunch of shapes in the row, and it's your job to find the shape which is next in the series. So these questions are normally standalone, which means they may not be the highest yield questions to spend all your time on. So just like I said in the verbal reasoning video, every question, no matter how difficult or how complex the material is, every question is worth 1 point. So you want to make sure that you spend lots of time on the easy questions and less time on the really difficult questions. So this is a type 2 question, so we just have to complete the series. Normally in these questions, rotation's like a really common thing. So we'll see, or like just switching sides. So let's follow this triangle here. Let's see what it does. So we go, it's at the top, on the side, at the top, on the side. So the next one should be at the top. But as you can see, all of these are already at the top, so it doesn't rule out anything. Now let's just pick a shape inside this box and just see where it goes. So this white circle here starts on the left, goes up here, goes here, goes here. So it's going 1 space clockwise for every different shape. So it should be in the left-hand side under the next one. So automatically we can rule out A and we can rule out B because the white circle is not in the left-hand side. Sorry, A and D, my bad. So B and C is one of our answers. So we just have to differentiate between those two. So we'll pick another shape. We'll just go with the square, black square. Let's see what it's doing. So black square is at the top, it's at the bottom, it's at the bottom, it's at the top. I don't really see any pattern with that one. We'll go to let's try out this white square. So white square, it's a difficult one. Black circle, let's try this out. So bottom left, this is also going clockwise. So it should be, no. So it's either B or C. So I'm heading towards C. If you're not too sure and you're spending too much time on it like I am doing, just flag and then move on. But the good thing about this website, so this is the official UCAT website, we can, if you're not sure, just explain the answer. So the answer is C. So look, it gives us the rule here. So 90 degrees clockwise in every subsequent box. So we won't spend too much time on this, it's just noting that this is a pretty good resource. Actually, it's the best resource because it's made by the actual people who make the UCAT. So another type of standalone question is the type 3 question. So you'll be asked to complete the statement, and it's normally set out like this. It's like A is to B, as C is to something. So it's your job to figure out what that something is. A to B is you find the rule for that statement, and you basically just shift it over and apply it to the second statement. So this is a standalone question as well, so you don't want to spend too much time on type 3 questions. So we'll go to a type 3 question now. We'll go to Navigator. So I've listed down, I went through this really quickly and listed down what questions are really good. So question 28 is a type 3 question. Alright, so we just have to find the pattern which is in the top boxes. So if we look at the arrows here, we can see that they've changed direction. This arrow pointing right is now pointing left. This one going up is now pointing down. So we'll look at the arrows here. So this one should be up, this one should be down, this one should be left. So it's not A because they're both pointing up. So look at B. So B, so it's up, it's down, it's left, up, down, left, up, down, left. So we've ruled out A, but we still have B, C, and D to go. So we'll look at the shapes in the center now. We can see that the shape in the middle becomes the shape on the outside. Yeah, and also but the shape in the middle becomes a bit smaller and switches upside down and changes color. Okay, so we can expect the outside to be, what is this, a rhombus? We can probably expect it to be a white in color, I think. I think it's C, but we'll check this out. Let's see what it expects. So the correct response is B. So yeah, I got this one wrong, but let's see what it says. Arrows in the box face the opposite direction, so we got that. The smallest shape in the left box increases in size and becomes the outermost largest shape. Okay, we've got that. The biggest box in the left box reduces in size and places itself inside the biggest shape in the right box. A copy of the smallest shape in the left box turns upside down, changes color, and places itself both inside the same shapes. So what did I got wrong here? Ah, I see, the middle shape has to change colour, so my bad. So that's the thing, you can really quickly get a question wrong if you don't pay attention to it, but then at the same time, you only have 14 seconds per question. So you have to kind of balance that. And finally, type 4 questions, it's pretty similar to type 1. So you're given, again, set A and set B. And each question, you'll be given 4 options, 4 different test shapes. And it's your job to choose which test shape belongs to either set A or set B, depending on what the question's asking. In set A and set B, we have to choose the simplest box possible to try and find the rule. This is actually, I remember actually doing this question back in 2019 when I did, because the practice questions were still available back then from the UCAT people. So we've got a white triangle. Okay, let's just say for every straight line with a circle on it, there's a white triangle. So straight line with circle, white triangle, straight line with circle, white triangle, 2 straight lines with circles, 2 white triangles. So it's a 1-to-1 ratio. But then we have black triangles as well. So if we look at this one, this is the next simplest box. We've got a curved line with a circle. It's a black triangle. 2 curved lines, 2 black triangles. So that's our rule here. So if we look at this question here, we've got 2 straight lines, but only 1 white, so it's not A. We've got 2 curvy lines here and 2 black, and we've got 1 straight and 1 white. So I reckon it's B in this case. So set B. So we know that the set B will have a pretty similar rule to set A. It'll just be like mixed around a little bit. So we'll look at triangles and lines again. So if we look at the simplest one right here, we've got a curvy line with a white triangle. So we'll just count the number of curvy lines and count the number of white triangles. So we've got 2 curvy lines, 2 white triangles, no curvy lines, no white triangles, 1 curvy line, 1 white triangle. So that rule works. But then the black triangles, let's see. So the circles are always going away from the big circle. So you've got 2 here, 2 black, 1 here, 1 black, no straight lines here and no black. So if we look at set B, so set B always going away. So 1 curvy equals 1 white, 1 straight equals 1 black. So we got 2 straight, 2 black, and they're away. So automatically you can say that A is probably the correct answer. Okay, I really want to check the answers right now, but we won't. So set A, so we've got straight, so it's not this one because we've got a curvy line here, but there's no black. Curvy line, no black. Here we go, we got 2 straight lines and 2 whites. Alright, so it's probably C in this case. Boom. Oh my goodness, set A, let's do it. So we got 3, we got away, away, away. 1, 2, 3. So it's getting more and more complicated, but I reckon it's still A. Set A. Okay, remember to read the question. That's a problem I have sometimes. So, straight, 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 white, white, white. Set A. So we've got, this one looks pretty good. They're all curvy and there's 3. So it's not B because although they're all curvy and there's 3, the circles are facing away from the big circle, whereas in all of these, they're facing towards it, I reckon. Yes, they are. So it's not B, but I reckon it's A. Boom. Done. Alright, let's just check our answers and we'll see how close we got. So we got, yeah, this looks right. So A is correct. A is correct again. I'm going to assume all the other ones are right. So hopefully all this stuff was useful, and if it was, consider subscribing to the channel, which would be really cool. Feel free to check out my verbal reasoning and situational judgment videos, which are currently uploaded. I think they have some pretty good tips in them, and that will probably cut down how much time you spend on each question, and it will also increase how many questions that you get correct. But otherwise, it's been good having you guys, and I'll see you around in the next video.